Everyone. Hi. Hi, everybody coming in. Hello, Mr. Sam. How are you doing? Hi, everyone. Come on in. Say hello. Come on in. Say hello. Hello, Perry John X. Fluffy Apple. AK London 007. Hello, Mr. Ladimiji. How are you? Great to see you as well. How was your day? Cutie baby underscore 22. Igbo proud. Igbo Queen. Hi, how's everybody doing? I am Nikki Ade. Hi Nikki, how are you doing? Hi Facebook, hi YouTube, hi everyone coming in. How was I mean, I'm telling you, this year is going so fast. Like before you know it, we're gonna be Thanksgiving, Christmas, and 2023. Like, like and then rapture, you know, in that order. Hi, everyone. Come on in. Let's talk immigration. Come on in. Say hello. Say hello. Say hello. AK London 007. What is the weather like in England right now? Like in London? What is the weather like? Because it is hot. If you are in the South, those of us in the South, like we are burning alive. Like my skin, my friend Joe, who's also my executive assistant, does not. She just laughs. I cannot do heat. Like it's not. Listen, uh, she goes, "Well, you lived in Africa, yeah, okay. How many times do you see us outside? How many times do you see us outside? We're going from AC to AC. Like that's no." Well, anyway, hi everyone. This is Attorney Episola Adebola Olale Samuel, immigration lawyer based in Alabama, representing immigration clients in all 50 states. I'm laughing because so was so I talked last time about realizing when I was trying to plan a vacation for my kids that their passports are expired. Hey, yeah, mom of the award of the year award goes to me. But anyway, so the passport lady, when we went to get it done, she was looking at their birth certificate, and she goes, "So how many names do they have?" Because my kids have first, middle, and last. And y'all already know that our African names like stretch like Riva now. Like they're, I think I'm one of those who has a short name. You know, I'd be so ideal. I feel like it. My parents gave me all our names, but here I am working my butt off every day because I think my mom is on like. I'm just saying because if you're going to name your child with a name that has wealth in it, you better make sure you show the child some wealth. But anyway, I digress. So the lady was like, she looked at my oldest son's name. She goes, "How many names do they have?" And I go, "They have two middle names." And the first, she goes, "So why do their names have to be so long?" And she looked at TJ's name. She goes, TJ is Toshi Joel, but otherwise Toshi, and then his two middle names, and then the last name. And she goes, "But why do y'all Africans do this?" It's tradition. It's tradition. And she goes, "So how do they say their names in school?" SG and TJ. Make life a lot easier for everybody. SG and TJ. But listen, um, it is what it is. But anyway, I digress. Come on in. Let's talk immigration. If you need help with your immigration case, we can be contacted at 334-341-4475. You can also visit our website. If you're on Facebook or YouTube, you can see your screen and see all the contact information. For y'all on Instagram, it's olalealawfirm.com. Number, once again, is 334-341-4475. Visit our website. There's quite bit of information. I do vlog some of the videos I do here also on the website. You can contact us that way. There are resources, links to the USCIS forums, EOR website, visa bulletin. Yeah, all of that is on our website. So if you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, please do so. If you have not followed us on TikTok and Instagram, I don't know what you're waiting on. And please share this video on Facebook as well. Just put in Olale Immigration on all social media platforms. And this gray head, salt and pepper, young face, don't make sense to nobody. Face will show up. But anyway, I hope everyone has had a good week so far. Can you believe tomorrow is Friday? Like I've had, so if you've been waiting, I think I'm catching up to my emails. I don't think there's anyone waiting for me on a response more than 48 hours yet, but I've had court back to back and finally breathing. And tomorrow it's going to be catch up day for me. And talking of catch up day, I just remembered something. It's in my brain. It's always working. Where's my post-it note? Here we go. Hold on 1 second, people. That's my post-it note. All right, what just came to my mind? Okay. Yeah, let's see. Anyway, so let's talk immigration. This night, let's talk about automatic citizenship for children. And as you already know the drill, we'll take questions later on. Let's talk about automatic citizenship for children. How can your child get automatic citizenship? So, yeah, before I forget, if you're waiting on an email, I'm catching my emails, so bear with me. I appreciate everybody's patience. Citizenship for children. How can they acquire automatic citizenship? Okay, so if you have a child or children, right, and you are, for instance, you get married to somebody and they file a marriage-based green card application or marriage-based green petition for you, based on the basis of which you file your green card application. For the most part, many people would also file, if you're a citizen, let's start with that. If you're a citizen, if you're married to a citizen, that means that as long as your children are eligible for the age or satisfy that age requirement that they must be under at the time you marry their step parent, then they also become children of that citizen, even though it's a step parent. And based on that, that makes them, as long as they're under the age of 21 and unmarried, your children will be classified as immediate relatives of a citizen. So that means that when your spouse, your citizen spouse, husband and wife, is filing your petition on your behalf, they can choose to file individual petitions for your children who are under the age of 21 and unmarried. So immediate relatives have to have separate petitions. So that means based on their petitions, they're also eligible to file the green card applications at the same time. Now, assuming everybody becomes, green card holders at the same time, when you, as the parent of those children, now become eligible for citizenship and you become naturalized citizen, then your children, as long as they remain in your physical custody, they remain legal permanent residents, they're physically present in the United States, and they remain under the age of 18 at the time you become a citizen, a naturalized citizen, then they will automatically acquire citizenship from you. Meaning they will not need to file N-400 applications and apply for citizenship on their own. If a child is over the age of 18, however, that child will have to file. If the child is over the age of 18 at the time you become a citizen, then that child would no longer qualify or would no longer be eligible to derive citizenship or acquire citizenship from you. That child will on their own have to qualify and become eligible to naturalize. So that question came up in one of my consultations today. Someone was told that as long as their children remain under the age of 21, when they become citizens, when they become a naturalized citizen, then their child still under the age of 21 will acquire citizenship. No, that is incorrect. As far as the child automatically becoming a citizen, that child must remain under the age of 18 when you become a naturalized citizen. If the child is over the age of 18 at the time you become a citizen, they will have to wait the 5-year period and file naturalization on their own. So as long as the children satisfy those requirements, they don't have to file N-400 applications. All they would have to do is, by law, they didn't really have to do anything, because N-600 application is for you to get the certificate of citizenship. And in order for you to qualify, you would have to meet all of those requirements. The children would have to meet all of those requirements. Majority of the people that we represent want proof that their children are citizens, and that's understandable. But I also have some clients that, as long as we check that off, we just go straight ahead and apply for their passports. So you don't actually have to file an N-600 application. You're not required to get the certificate of citizenship first before you can apply for a U.S. passport. But most people just prefer to do that and then submit that as evidence when they're applying for their passports. So I'm talking about passports. Luckily for us, my kids, their passports were delivered today. It's like, thank you, Jesus. I mean, the time was gone, but it's like, okay, at least they expedited whatever worked. So that's how children acquire citizenship. So let's go through that again. If and when you become a naturalized citizen, any child of yours that also acquired or became a legal permanent resident at the same time that you did, or even if it's after you did, as long as that child is a legal permanent resident, that child is in your physical custody, legal physical custody. That child is physically present in the United States. That child remains unmarried and under the age of 18 at the time you become a naturalized citizen. The child will automatically acquire citizenship from you and will not have to file an N-400 application, because the automatic citizen means the day you become a naturalized citizen, all those children who meet those requirements will also become naturalized citizens. Proof of that will be you submitting that you've met all those requirements, and you can either file an N-600 and get a certificate of citizenship, or that child, on behalf of the child, you can go ahead and file and apply for a U.S. passport as long as you've met all those requirements. Now, the other question that came up today during my consultation was, and if you're just joining us, we're talking about automatic citizenship for children. And a child, by definition, as far as immigration is concerned, is a child that is under the age of 21, unmarried, under the age of 21. Now, that is a definition of child generally, in general terms. As far as a child acquiring automatic citizenship from a naturalized parent, that child must remain under the age of 18 at the time that parent naturalizes as a citizen. So there is a general definition of a child, but when it comes to automatic citizenship for children, that child must remain under the age of 18. The other scenario is, what if you're not, your spouse that you married, the basis of you qualifying for the green card, the basis of their petition is what your children would now file for the green card applications. What if that spouse does not file for your children at that time, or they just don't want to? What happens? What happens is you can file for your children when you become a green card holder. Now, this is where it gets tricky. If you come in, for instance, you come into the country with 2 children, right? You're coming through, with a visitor visa, you get married, and your spouse that you get married to decides, I'm not filing for your 2 children, I'm just going to file for you. Your children at the time you come into the country are 10 and 8, right? Now they file for you, you become a green card holder, and then based on you married to your spouse, after 3 years, you become a citizen. That means at that time, your children, so you become let's assume you become a green card holder at the time you come in. This is just hypothetical, right? So they're 10 and 8, you become a green card holder. The spouse is saying, I'm not filing for your kids. You've got to do that on your own. 3 years, you become eligible to apply for citizenship based on being a legal permanent resident for 3 years and still in a marital union with the spouse, the citizen spouse. You become a naturalized citizen. That means your children are now 13 and 11, right? 3 years later, the 13 and 11. When you become a citizen, you're able to file for your children. And even though they have now overstayed, children do not accrue unlawful presence. But if they overstay, they still would not be eligible to adjust status unless they are immediate relatives, meaning they're children of citizens. So when you become a citizen, your children are still 11 and 13. You file for them as immediate relatives of you, who's now the naturalized citizen. They get their green card. Let's say it takes 2 years for them to get a green card. Now they are 13 and 15, right? They're still unmarried, under the age of 20, under the age of 18, in your legal custody. So by the time they actually become legal permanent residents, they also automatically will become citizens. Make sense? Now, conversely, if you file for your children as soon as you become a green card holder, right? Even though you're able to file I-130s for them, as long as you remain a green card holder, they will not be eligible to file the I-485 unless they maintain some kind of valid non-immigrant status at the time you are filing. If they're out of status and you're a green card holder, even though children do not acquire unlawful presence, but because they have overstayed, they will not be eligible to adjust their status until you become a citizen. In that case, it's always advisable to just file the I-130. Then when you become a citizen, they become immediate relatives, their category changes, and now they're able to apply for their green cards without having to leave the country. Make sense? And there's a whole lot back and forth. But those are really typically the two scenarios that happens for the most part. And, it's always advisable if you guys can do it all at once for everyone to become a citizen, to have their own petitions filed at the same time. Now, some people do it just to be on the safe side in the sense of, okay, for some reason, if, crazy USCIS decides they're not going to approve the petition filed for the parent, that is a relation that actually created the step-parent and child relationship. If they feel that that was not a bona fide relationship, it will have an effect on the one for the child. So some people would decide, I'm just going to do mine, see how that goes up. I mean, if that works out fine, then, the spouse can go ahead and file for my kids, or I'll just wait 3 years, become a citizen, and then file for my children, because at that time, there's no reason for them to deny them, and they do not have to leave the country. That happens. Now, another example is this. For a child to acquire citizen, like I said, the child must remain under the age of 18 at the time you become a naturalized citizen. So the same example, but let's assume that at the time you become a green card holder, you come into the country, you've overstayed, you become a green card holder, but your oldest child is now 16. You become a citizen 3 years after, right? The child will now be 19 years old. You file for that child because that child is still under the age of 21. So the child will still qualify as an immediate relative of a naturalized citizen because they're under the age of 21, and they will not have to leave the country. But once they get their green card, they will have to wait 5 years for them to become a citizen because now the child is over the age of 18. I'll probably confuse everybody. See, I can do this in my sleep. But the person who consulted with me today, someone else consulted with me last week about the same thing, and a lawyer actually has misguided them completely. And the oldest child is now most likely going to be out of luck, and she's probably going to have to wait 5 years because they were misguided. They were told they could have filed 5 years ago, but they're just starting the green card process, and the child is going to be 18. So the more you know, people. I always say, I can be your first opinion, but please, if you're not sure what I'm saying, seek your second opinion. And I could be your second opinion if you have doubt whatsoever. Please understand it's about your life, and you have to know that you're being given the accurate information, and do your own research. Google is not law school, but you find a lot of information. Even if you go on USCIS.gov website, they have a lot of resources on their website to help a lot of people. So the more you know, people. And that's all she wrote for this evening. Let's go to questions. Okay, before I go to questions, let me put in my, let me charge my computer. 1 second. Just charge this computer. There we go. Okay. All right. I'm going to start on, I'm already starting on Facebook and YouTube. Let me start on Instagram today. 𝐸𝐴 London 007, you're in Houston. Yes, we're neighbors. So if it's hot here, it's hot there. For sure. Like, no. I mean, the heat wave is, it is, I'm telling you, 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕 every single day. I'm telling you, it is ridiculous. And then I'm sure come September, it's going to be like, what the heck happened? You know, everything gets cool and all, and I cannot do heat. I just cannot. I just, no. When people are having like a picnic and all that in summertime, like, no, see, 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕. No, suffering and smiling. No, we don't do that. I am Anika. I have 3 middle names. You see, I don't think there's any Nigerian who doesn't have. If you're West African especially, and you have less than 2 middle names, please let me know. Put it in the comment section if you have less than 2 middle names, because I think we all have at least 2 middle names. Like everybody's got to give your name during your naming ceremony. Your dad's uncle that passed away 200 years ago, but came back. He's gonna come back and give your name. Everyone is gonna give your name, and then you end up with like 200 names, but they all can't fit in your birth certificate, so they just choose the ones that have to be there. So, because I was looking at the mail, and when they said the passports today for my kids, they put all of their 3 names in the last name, so all 4 names, and I was like, now, Department of State, 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕. It's come on now. But they put all 4 names on the mail. Galari, like whatever. Okay, let's see. So what if you 𝐸𝐴 London 007, I'm not really sure I understand your question. What if you done interview and was okay, like not too much question, wife? What is the question you have? When someone came in, Instinct 73, I already said, I think I responded the last night. You have to sit down with an attorney and discuss your case. There's some questions it's just on the yes or no answer. And your wife is like, I want a divorce. Okay, why waiting? 𝐸𝐴 London 007, discuss your options with a lawyer. What is the reason why she's wanting divorce? Has there been abuse in the marriage? What is going on? That's something you want to discuss. Listen, y'all, let me just say this. I do a lot of, when I was looking at the StreamYard and I see the hours I have put in doing free, because this is free information. But free information does not substitute getting specific advice for your specific case. So I can only give you general information because there's nothing that's going to be specific to your case outside of normal proper paid consultation. But this should not, this information that I give should not substitute sitting down with a lawyer and actually talking about your case. Everyone's case is different. So there's a lot of people who have been helped by the videos that I do, and I love that. But there are cases that you just have to deal with and specify there's some things you cannot share. And I would not, unless you're one-on-one with me, I would not give you anything specific to your case. So there's some cases that you just have to sit down with a lawyer and figure out what your options are. Don't be penny wise, pound foolish. That's just the truth. Because I can't tell you how many cases I have on my hand where people try to save money, but now they're spending more than they would have spent if they had just started with a lawyer. Not every application needs a lawyer. For instance, if you're doing like an I-90 renewal or replacement of your green card, now that is not an I-751 because some people actually mix it and then they get a denial and then they wonder, oh, I filed the wrong thing. I-90 is specific for you to replace an expired or expiring green card, or to replace one that you've lost. That is completely different from removal condition. So if you're filing an I-90, you don't necessarily need a lawyer to do that. That's a very, very straightforward thing. But it's just always best to sit down and discuss your case. Okay, let's see. Does approved I-130 expire? It doesn't expire in the sense of the petition itself. However, if, for instance, if the person is going to be consular processing, there is a time frame that they have to start their application for the immigrant visa. If you do not start within that time frame, NVC will return that petition to USCIS, and most likely they revoke it. So, but if it's just something that, for instance, someone who is, you claim that the person is going to adjust status in the United States, they're not sending it anywhere. So it basically will sit, idle until, you're able to file the application that would now make you eligible to adjust your status. I hope that makes sense. Evil Proud. Basira, I have a joint account with my husband, but he works in another state and uses the debit card. Can this be a red flag, using the cards in another state? It's not a yes or no answer to that question, because it depends on what your reasonable explanation is for him being in another state using that card. So if he's working, like you said, in another state, it is reasonable that he's using that card in another state. He's using it. So he's using it for his everyday upkeep. Now, the question then is, does he ever come back home? If he's constantly there and you're constantly in the other state, I mean, what time do you spend with each other? That's what USCIS wants to see. And then when he comes home or when you go, there should be those transactional trails where he's back in the states you are and he's using that card as well. Or when you visit, he's using that card as well. But you've got to have one marital residence where that is where everything is coming. And the person who's not living in the marital residence is making more of the trips than the other person. So you've got to understand that USCIS needs to know there is one marital residence. If you have two, then you have to be able to back it up with evidence as to why you have to. Somebody works, we're working in different states, but this is how it works for us, and this is the evidence we have to back it up. I hope that answers your comment as general as it can be. Now, children don't accrue unlawful presence. It does not mean they become eligible to apply for their green card without having to leave. There is a difference between accruing unlawful presence and being barred based on unlawful presence. So any child under the age of 18 doesn't accrue unlawful presence. But if that child has overstayed their authorized visa, they will still have to leave the country to apply for the immigrant visa at the embassy, unless it's an immigrant, for instance, it's an immediate relative. But let's assume the parent of the child becomes a green card holder, right? They file an I-130 for the child. But because the parent is still a green card holder, that child is not an immediate relative. Only immediate relatives are exempt from unlawful presence bar, exempt from unlawful presence, where they're able to apply for their I-45. But a child does not accrue unlawful presence. Where that matters is that, unlike an adult or anyone over the age of 18, if you are the child of a green card holder, for instance, and you're 19, before you leave, you have to file the 601 waiver, have that approved, and then you leave. A child under the age of 18 does not need to file a waiver. They just have to leave, and there's no bar that's triggering as far as unlawful presence. I hope that makes sense, Evil Proud. So that's where that matters. Prince of Hope 88, thank you. Okay, see a lot of LLs. I have over 1 million. I'm telling you, we have names like I don't know what they. I mean, and the cycle continues. It's there's some traditional things that I do that I still keep doing with my kids. There are a lot of traditions I've done away with. Don't judge me. I just there's some things that didn't make sense to me growing up in Nigeria. Like I ain't doing it to my kid. But like can you know 200 million names here? I mean, it's important to have your name because your name is your first prophecy in life every single day. When people say your name, they have to be able to call you something that is prophesying. Like my oldest kid, 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒊𝒈, and really his um his birth, where I conceived him, his birth is really my oldest kid is 17. He's 17 and a half. He's going to be a senior. He's going to be a senior in the next less than a month from now. Thank you, Jesus. Not good. And they told us to send baby pictures of them because they go to private schools. They have a lot of fun fair. Yeah. But anyway, there's some moms who are good enough to offer to do that. So I was going through baby photos and I saw one where it was on his first birthday. And I was like, wow. And all I could say was 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒊𝒈. And that's his name. But it means God has done this. I mean, there's no other way to say it because and then his middle name is Samuel. I asked him of the Lord. And when I tell you that this kid, my kid he was born in Chicago, and because we lived in Chicago for about 3 years, and I went into labor. I can never forget. And listen, y'all, if y'all meet me in person, those who meet me like, your voice is so strong for someone your size, because I'm 5 foot tall. Go figure. My 11-year-old is taller than me. But I have a very strong voice. But I'm a petite lady. And I went into labor, being the first child. I mean, they ain't going to say it could go into C-section. But anyway, the kid's head was trapped in the birth canal. And he completely stopped breathing. And it's going to make me very emotional. Completely stopped breathing. Where the monitors, where you're all in the medical field know his father's a physician, so he was right there, and he was like, when I saw his father's face, I knew that okay, there's trouble. When I tell you guys that from the time that my OB/GYN came into the room and it was chaos, and I cannot remember much, but from the time they took me real fast from the delivery room to the OR, and the time he was out was under 7 minutes. And this is based on what his dad, who was there, under 7 minutes. And SJ, we call him SJ, spent the first 3 days of his life in the NICU. He came out, he wasn't breathing, he was blue. So when I tell you your name is important, 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒊𝒈, God spoke him into existence. I'm telling you, because I couldn't, as the first time mother, at 26, I couldn't it was just a whole lot of roller coaster, and I couldn't hold my child for 3 days. It was something. So name is really important. I'm telling you, that's me. But I'm still waiting for my parents to give me the wealth that I'd be so like, okay. Should have been better of like call me something like something. But don't be lying that you give birth to me wealth and I gotta work all the days of my life. That's my testimony of my kid. I told people my life is a testimony. I am Miracle 19. How long does fiance visa take? It's taking longer than usual now. I have one that is pending. We filed November last year. We have 4 that was sent out in February. They're all still pending. And then we filed 2 last month, June. Yeah, it's pre-COVID. We could easily say maximum 4 months. That's what my firm and our firm. But now, listen, and visa backlog from because I get this email report just to get an update on National Business Center, and the backlog actually increased in June. That's the truth of the matter right now. So, yeah. Let's see. Can I-360 be denied after the death of the U.S. spouse? Are you filing as a widow? Are you filing vow? What is the premise of the I-360? You're welcome, 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕. Is it possible to get a green card or citizenship for a child whose parents are citizens? What would be the basis for that? @_share. How are you? 𝒊𝒎𝒎🊃, how can you be reached? Our number is 334-341-4475. Visit our website at 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕 or social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Just put in 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕. If you could put that combination together. Now, don't just put 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕 Alabama, because my ex-husband is probably going to show up. We ain't looking for him. We're looking for, well, just put the lawyer in there. That's what I'm saying. But 334-341-4475. I'm telling you, I'm so my oldest kid, he reminds me so much of my younger brother. So I have two younger siblings and I have an older brother. My younger brother, he's a surgeon in Massachusetts. He's extremely, extremely introverted. And my kid wants to go into medicine, and he reminds me so much of my brother. He's not antisocial, but he's his own best friend. Unlike compared to TJ, who had, like, everybody's his friend. I have to reduce the number of friends TJ has. The other one I'm trying to get in friends. So whenever he says something, it knocks you off your feet. So I was talking about somebody, and I was telling, because sometimes I tell him, how was your day? We talk about what happened. Okay, what kind of kids do you deal with? We have that kind of talk. And I was telling him about somebody that I hadn't seen in a while, and it looks like that person, shrunk, because they used to be taller than that, but it looks like they shrunk. And this kid is gonna look at me yesterday, and he had a smirk on his face, and I go, "What?" He says, he said, "Well, never mind." I'm like, no, you already said. Say what you wanted to say. This kid, only in America, is going to tell me that, well, for someone who's just 5 foot tall, I'm just wondering, are you wanting to talk about someone shrinking? See, that's why parents go to jail. You have to wait here before you remember that America blew up. Well, you only if someone's be. I looked at his kid as like, I'm about to knock his teeth out. Did he? He said, I'm just saying, like, you're talking about someone's height, but anyway, I digress, because my kids are mouthy. But the older one is fine. This little one, I don't know if you guys can hear his voice. My I-751 case is pending since 510 days. 510 is, see, I went to law school, so I don't have to do math, but I think that's less than 2 years. If it's less than 2 years, it's not out of the norm. Everyone, it's very, very easy to know when your case is outside normal processing time. Now, if you go on uscis.gov/processing times, put in your receipt date, it will tell you whether or not based on your petition, it will tell you whether or not your case is outside normal processing time. If it tells you that the earliest day you can make inquiries is, and it gives you a date, that shows that your case is still within the normal processing time. So USCIS has made that very, very easy to figure out if your case is still processing normally. Y'all know that Africans are not the most patient people. I was still telling somebody today, like, we made an expedited request. They called USCIS again. It's still less than 30 days. You're going to delay your case when you make repeated inquiries, when your case is still normal within normal. You are going to cause even more delay to your case. That is the reality of the matter. That is just how it works. So if you're really not wanting to wait too long, then don't make inquiries when your case is still within the normal processing time. Okay. Let's see. Okay. I'm going to get to Facebook and YouTube. I can see you guys. Just give me 1 second. I always start with you guys. I'm just starting. All right, let me go to, I'll be back on Instagram. Justina, hello, sister. I have to put this on. There's people who we want free consultation now. We'll show free people. See, I love to make skits and from things that happen. But someone said, well, you should be doing pro bono cases too. Pro bono, for those who don't know, is without getting paid. And I do pro bono cases. I select, each, for instance, in my state, in Alabama State, the state bar, there is something you can get CLE credit for doing pro bono. But what I do every week, coming and sharing information, I don't know what else that is besides pro bono, because I get emails every single day from people who say, you have no idea how listening to you helped me to figure out what I needed to do or to file this, and I did it without an attorney. And I'm always like, it's always best with an attorney. But if that helps you, that is free information. That's what pro bono means, free. But lawyers got bills. And I went to law school so I can make money and make a living doing what I love. Like I don't know who people say that, but I don't know who it started. But when they say, find what you love doing, and find what you love doing and find a way to make money from it. Listen, a day will come when I'll share a lot with you guys. But I remember vividly when I was still married, very, very driven, but felt very, I'm trying to choose my word carefully now. Not stuck, but I don't know. The way my law firm started was me saying, you know what's the worst, that this complete stranger that I didn't know this guy from, I've asked him if he would come on my live one day. He's an old school guy, complete stranger. Reached out to him, found him on Google, and said, what's the worst that can happen? He'll tell me who's this crazy person, and not respond. That's how my law firm started. Not because he felt he had to help me, but because I know without any shadow of doubt that it was God's doing. It was just his doing. It was God's doing. God's doing. I remember sitting there when I was still married and thinking, how in the world can I get to do immigration practice and reach out and help people? Because I know what it feels like to go through this and to be anxious, to be waiting, to be unsure, to be on a J visa that requires you to go back home, to go to an underserved area, to go from visa to visa to visa, to get a green card even before you thought you were going to get it, to become I know what it feels like. But the day will come. We'll have a talk. Hello, Mood and Star. Thank you for everything. God bless you, your family. Thank you. I appreciate that. Lady B, thank you so much. I think my voice is just what needs to clear up, but thank you, Jesus. And that's why last week of this month, I need a mental break. Not breakdown, but a mental break. I got mental health. Do y'all know that attorneys are the number 2 professionals that have the highest rate of suicide? God forbid, but a lot of attorneys deal with mental illness and mask it. There's a lot of pressure in the work that we do. And so you've just got to pace yourself and be able, so. Mood and Star, my vow was approved. Congrats. I think you've said that before. When her since my approval notice came to me, I've never heard that. What should I do? I was abused by help. Yeah, it doesn't. If you go to 485, go on USCIS.gov processing time, and put it in and put your category in. Okay. If it's still within normal processing time, you're just going to have to wait. Now, and thanks for bringing this up, because you have to understand, people, that even though you filed your I-360 and 485 together, the 485 is not being processed at all while your 360 is pending. The reason you're doing that is so that you're able to work, because you can only get a C9 category work permit that allows you to work while your vacancy is still pending if you file a 485. So it's just sitting there. When the Vermont Service Center is done with your I-360, then they'll forward your entire file to the field office. And then you have to now go and see how long it's taking the field office based on your priority date. So that's really when your 485 is being looked upon. It has nothing to do with Vermont Service Center, because they just would process it because you filed it, and they'll process your E80. But once they approve the valid, they send your file to your field office. So most of the time you get a transfer notice, and that's why you get a transfer notice. I hope that helps, Moon Star. So where can I use my advance parole to travel to? Anywhere or just my home country? Anywhere. I mean, you usually have to specify where you're going, but I haven't had anyone have any issue going to where they didn't specify on because the card would not limit where you can go. J. Pereira submitted I-693 medical with initial filing back in 2019, little more than 3 years now. Is it still that? It's right for 2 years. They most likely will send you a deficiency notice and let you know, or I would say if you're okay, your interview scheduled for next month, I would say do another one just to be on the safe side, because they may not have had a chance to even look at it. So if you get to your interview and they tell you, oh, you did it 2019, 3 years, his signature is expired, we need another one, they'll have to give an error fee. So to be on the safe side and save yourself time, do a new one to take with you. Tina, well, now I know. Thank you so much, Anthony. I think I know who that is. Hi, Miss Tina. Can you explain this? Explain what my VA is going to 2 years and my son is 15 years now. Hope the citizenship of a thing will not affect him. VA not yet approved. So Lady B, let me go back. I think you said you're married to, no, that's not you. Is that you? Go back. No, that's not you. Okay. If your spouse is a citizen, so he's 15, it's the same. The citizenship is the same rule as far as automatic citizenship. So if it's 15 now, he's going to have to be a legal permanent resident. And if it's pending 2 years, you're going to still have to wait. I'm assuming your abuser is a citizen. And if that's the case, then whether or not you're still married to the person, you will still be eligible for your citizenship after 3 years as a green card holder. But if he's 15 now, most likely he's going to, be more than 18 by the time you become a citizen. So, but he can always just wait another 2 years. And oh, okay, Agatha Small. Let's see. I wanted to share the good news. You were right when you said I wouldn't have the interview. I sent requests for evidence on July 30 and 11th. They approved I-485 and July 12th made your new card. I wanted to thank you for all the times you replied and say you are a blessing to the community. Okay, you're going to make me cry, and I don't do mushy. Thanks so much. Now I'm free, no more abuse. Can everyone say congratulations to Agatha Small? And if just for a background, now I would, if you email me or you send me a DM, if it's not more than the one line that I'm going to respond to you, but if you keep sending me more than one question, you will have to do a consultation. That's just what it is. If you don't like it, that's okay. But this was about, okay, approved VAL case, a VAL petition, pending 485. Is that going to be an interview or not? But if remind me, Ms. Small, I think it was for, I can't remember but sometimes they have the discretion to decide, especially for VAL cases, because keep in mind, your 485, unlike a regular marriage case, the 485 is not about good faith interview. That's not what it is. It is for them to determine if there's anything that's going to make you inadmissible as a legal permanent resident. In a regular marriage case, that interview, you're required to go with your spouse because the good faith part of it is attached to the I-135 by your spouse. The good faith is not attached to a 485. So good faith in a VAL case is attached to the I-360. So once Vermont Service Center has approved your VA petition, then that they have concluded that you provided sufficient evidence of good faith in your marriage. So the 485 really is not about, okay, is your marriage real or not? It's all about, okay, do you have basis or grounds to find you inadmissible? And if they believe there's no point wasting your time and their time, if there's anything deficient, like a medical, they'll send an RFE, you send it back. The next thing they'll tell you, we approved your 485. But I know Miss Small and I've been going back and forth, and that I am so happy for you. And all the best. It's a new dawn, and I wish you nothing but God's blessings and God's favor. That is awesome. That is really, really awesome. Lady B, after 10 years green card under VA, when can you file for citizenship? You can file for citizenship dependent on the status of your abuser. If you're married to a citizen, then after 3 years, married to a green card holder after 5 years, unless the person becomes a citizen before the 5 years. Justin, I believe you in the names. I'm a witness of it. Nigerian parents give name from waiting to conception, prenatal, during pregnancy, delivery, especially the way they believe me, even though I had my kids here. But let me tell you, I had 2 C-sections. It's not funny. Ooh, Lord have mercy. Women go through a whole lot. Let me listen. You couldn't pay me anything to have another child after teaching. No, ma'am. No. No. Okay. I love Miss Justin. A good soup, not money money make out. It's not good soup. Everything, everything almost not fish. Driving. Okay, let me just get to other questions. You sure is great. Thank you. Healthy Food Kitchen. Can you please explain how long it takes to get work permit under C9 category in VAL? My case shows fingerprints were taken. C9 category, it's not related to VAL. C9 category is attached to 485. I think I've said this like 200 times, but I'll keep saying it because I know I understand that I do this, so it's easy for me to remember. But, C9, just remember C9 green card, C9 green card. Green card application is 485. So it's not about because you filed a VAL case, but where it makes a difference is this. It's being processed in a different service center. So if you choose, when you go, you have to choose the Vermont Service Center, and then it gives you how long it's taking that particular service center to process the C9. I'm seeing, there's no rhyme or reason to what we're seeing now. I can only go by what I'm seeing in my firm and some of my colleagues that I've spoken with. But I've had C9 category work permit filed with VAL. One was approved last week after 3 months. Filed in, was it? Yeah, April, May, June, July, 3 months. There's one that was approved. We filed in February. Mr. Taiwo's case was filed in February. Yeah, exactly 5 months. There's a rhyme or rhythm. And then I have another case that is killing me. When I say it's killing me, because this woman is so dear to my heart. And we've been waiting over a year. Like, I literally had to file yet another one. We've done congressional assistance. I don't know what's going on. Even they have admitted that it's out to our president, but it's still nothing. But I'm believing God knows her heart. God knows that she deserves it. And I believe strongly that there is going to be a shifting in her favor. I just believe strongly that this month, before the end of the month, I pray that will come back and say yes from our lips to God's ears. But yeah, so if you go Healthy Food Kitchen, that was how you can know. Okay, what's on Instagram? And I'm going to jump off. Aim for D stars. I got approved EB2 national interest rate, but congratulations. Now, still didn't approve a notice that I'm not eligible to adjust status. Please, what can I do? Consult with an immigration lawyer and see what is going on in your case. What if you contact them before your inquiry date? You're going to make them pull your file, and then they say that it's still within normal processing time, and it doesn't go back to where it was on the queue, you're going to delay your case. Hear me loud and clear, people. If you call when your case is still within the normal processing time, unless you're asking to expedite, but if you call, you're going to delay your case. You're going to add more time to your case, to the processing time of your case. Listen, I'm not the most patient person in the world. I can tell you that. God is still working me when it comes to patience. Like, he's probably going to be working until he comes back for us on patience. But there's some things that I've come to accept myself that I can't change. There's no attorney that can do anything about processing times. We can only make expedited requests, file writ of mandamus, whatever the case may be. Nothing, no one has the power to do nothing. I don't care who the attorney is or what they tell you. Nobody knows anybody who's going to make. That's what it is. Now, if you request expedited processing, make an expedited request on a particular application, that's different. But if you make inquiries, they will. Agatha, everyone on Instagram is saying congrats to you. You have no idea how we rejoice with you. How long does a divorce take to finalize after filing for divorce after a month of marriage? It's state specific. You have to talk to your divorce lawyer in your state. Okay, let's see. All right, people. So I think, all right, 10, 12. Yeah, it's time for me to go. But once again, if we can help you with your immigration cases, contact our office. Our number is 334-341-4475. Please subscribe to YouTube channel, follow us on Instagram and TikTok. I put a video up. Sometimes I look at my video and like just make myself laugh. But if you go on TikTok, Olale Immigration, there's a video I posted today, and I think I'll post it on Instagram. Basically, it's just giving you prayer points for your green card application. Just saying. Hello, Miss Giwa. How are you? Okay. I need to submit I-751 come Saturday. My wife's refusing to sign jointly with me, and I'm not wronger in any way. Please, what can I do? Because 90 days start from this coming 60. 90 days is not the deadline to submit it. It's just giving you the opportunity to submit it 90 days earlier than the second year anniversary. It's not like a do or die. So you still have some time to try to work things out and see what's going on. But you're probably going to be better off to speak to a lawyer and see if you qualify for any of the waiver grounds that would not make you eligible to do a self-petition. So that's what, good to know. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. And once again, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, share this video, follow us on Instagram and TikTok, and I will see you guys. I'll still see you next week. And we're trying to get, so I don't know, because we have a lot of cases to get out before I leave. So, but I'll see you guys. Hope you guys